Welcome, guys, to my Big Brother Season 25, Week 10. That is Week 10 HOH, Week 10 Veto, and Week 10 Live Eviction Recap episode. And I am here with my lovely friend, Janelle Michelle. Janelle, how are you tonight on
I
this Saturday
am
night?
I am good. I am excited to get into this. We have finally hit jury. So I'm
Yeah,
interested to see if any of these players are gonna start, playing a little different, playing a little for the jury, stacking up those jury votes or good vibes or good social game to
yeah.
see, if they can pull this out. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too, but things aren't looking good on that on that front. And we will talk about that a little closer to the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
um, but that being said, we are talking about what happened after last week. We were here last Friday and we talked about everything up to Mimi's eviction. And while we are all sad for Mimi to go, I was very sad for Mimi to go,
Me
to be
too.
fair. I don't know. I'm happy for her. I know I said it last time. She seems very happy to be home with her husband. I hope they're reconnecting. I hope they're, to be a newlywed and go home, and go away and then come home after months. Like it's gonna be hard, but hopefully they, it was just like a mini vacation for her. So I know she had like a whole nother month she could have stayed and made some more money, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't think those people deserve to have Mimi in the jury to pick a better winner because some of these people ain't playing good at all.
Yeah. And she's out. I've seen her on social media. I've seen her doing a live.
Yeah.
Um, I need to find that live because I had the bright idea. I don't know if anybody said anything to any of the pre-jury house guests about that loft bed and those Clorox wipes.
No, but I saw that somebody might have mentioned it during her live.
That's what I heard, but I'm like, what did she say?
I don't know. I saved the live, but I haven't gotten to watch it. It's been like a super busy week. But yeah.
Yeah.
If I was her, I would be calling Jared, cussing him out.
Like, boy. Yeah, I don't know what made that pop into my mind. Like, nobody has asked about this because it was such a topic of conversation at the time. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody touched on that postseason. So, yeah, I heard that somebody said something to her, but I don't know what her response was. And I need to see that response.
Yeah. Listen, Mimi went out like a G.
She did.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I loved it. It was great. Great TV. Probably one of my favorite exits. Very iconic. And it ended up like at first they're like, it's not going to do anything for this week. Usually when people do that, it doesn't impact the people that they did it against. Oh, but it impacted
It
some.
did. It definitely. Cameron was like, I'm starting to think about what Mimi said. Because why ain't Bowie? We'll get into, why ain't Bowie putting Corey up and blah, 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 blah. She ran him over with the bus and then backed it up and ran him over again. Like, she was like, if I'm going out, I'm giving something on the way out. I loved
Somebody coming with me, and somebody actually did.
it.
Oh my god! So for the, let's discuss the HOH episode. So we got a live HOH comp the week before, which you and I both love and
Love
alive
it.
love it. Um, and so this HOH episode, we got so much more information. That is why we like live HOH comps, so that when you're going into the HOH episode, you know who the HOH is. Yes, they give you a little background of what the comp was and what they did, but then you get in all these details of the stuff we saw on the live feed, or if you missed anything from the live feed, you get a lot more detail, and maybe they'll flash back if it's like, you know, picked from something that happened like the week before that, and they'll put it in the episode because it's impacting the nominations of this.
Yeah.
And so Bowie does win in one of the most epic tiebreakers ever.
It was not epic. It was ridiculous. Like I was like, first of all, she went extremely low. Extremely. Bowie did not want to be that HOH that week. She did
She
not.
said, she
And
said, I tried to throw it. I tried.
she did. And Felicia, if you're gonna throw it, go stupid high, not stupid low. But Felicia, with her 49,000, if she just would have dropped 1-0, I'm like, she just 1-0, 49,000, Felicia? Because she was doing math. I was like, oh, she got it. Felicia got it. Let's go. And then I said, and when she turned it around, I thought it said 4,900. I was like, oh, she got it. I was like, oh, wait, there's two zeros.
I was like, cross out that zero.
Wipe it off real fast. Like,
And even Sari had to tell her. We saw in this episode, she's like, if you had just dropped the zero, you would have won. You would still won. And she's like, oh.
That was a good Felicia impression. That was spot on, Tamika. Yeah, that was disappointing, but I don't know what I thought Bowie was gonna do. I was really disappointed because I really wanted it to be Felicia because I knew that meant some of the people that I liked were gonna end up being safe. So that was disappointing, but I also was super curious as to how Bowie was going to handle it. We don't see Bowie play a lot of game. We don't see Bowie talk a ton of game. It's very on the low. She does, and she will, but it's not a lot. So I was interested to like see what Bowie's thinking, where she was going to go, and we got a lot of that, and I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I was surprised because you know, I thought she had thrown it. Like, you know, finding out she actually threw it was a little shocking. And it's funny enough, like people are like, "Oh, she was trying to throw," but she still didn't throw it correctly. So it's like, you know, that was on her. And then it's like, you know, when I think it was even on the live feed, she was like waiting for somebody to talk to her, waiting for something, and she's like, "This is why I didn't want to win the HOH." And so it's like, you know, I was like, "Oh wow, Bowie had a thought process." Shocking, shocking. I did not listen. Going into this week, I had no respect for fucking Bowie Jane. Sorry,
No,
none,
okay.
no. I did think, again, she is a barrister, which, if you don't know what that is, in Australia and in the UK, she is a lawyer.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that I thought she was stupid,
Right.
right? I just thought that she wasn't good at the game.
Right.
Um, Here we see that she has a lot more insight. People are giving her credit for. And I people are always saying, well, you should like know that that's what she did because she's a sort of lawyer in Australia. No, that means nothing. Nothing. Do you know how many people are book smart and not street smart? Which is what I'm saying. I saw the difference. There's a difference between being able to play the game and being, you know, maneuverable, social, you know, play the game and being smart.
Right, absolutely. Intelligence doesn't equate to good at Big Brother.
Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's nothing to do with it. You could be the dumb as rocks and still like dumb as rocks in the sense that you're not maybe the most book smart person or you did very average in school. Doesn't mean like they can still be good at Big Brother. So yeah,
Right.
Bowie just going in and listening to how she spoke to people that were coming in to speak to her, pushing. And let me rewind. I have to give her credit because I was on as soon as she won. I was like, oh, here we go. This is about to be Matt and Jag's HOH. She ain't about to do nothing. They're about to run it, and that is not what happened.
Not what happened.
I mean, we got to hear some insight into what Bowie was thinking, some targets that did, even though I didn't love her targets, they made sense for her individual game because she wasn't working with those people, and the other two sides were kind of or do Jesus Lord were trying to work with her. So it made perfect sense for her game. She was thinking, she wanted to take in more than she was giving out, which she was the first HOH to do that. All the other HOHs were spilling everything.
Yeah.
Bowie sat and Bowie listened to what people had to say on the pitches that they were making. So I was impressed because yeah, she's not a very active player. She's not um like bold in her play. She seems like she ain't doing nothing, but no, yeah, I don't know. Like that's what we were getting from Bowie. But
Mhm.
obviously, she's thinking and she's
Yeah.
laying low and she's waiting until it's her time. And her time came, and I think she did a pretty good job.
I agree. And so we do see like the house guests find out that they made jury. They celebrate her like making jury. And they celebrate Bowie's win. She does lay out for us that, you know, she's in a lot of final three,
Mhm.
final two situations. Um but before this, as we talked about, Mimi had thrown her and Corey in America under the bus. Epic, epic. And so she was gonna go into this week looking to get as much information as possible.
Yeah.
We see that America didn't like Mimi's speech. Corey was very upset about it because then he feels like the target is even more on his back because again he'd been called out by Felicia and then
Mhm.
the bus by Mimi. And you know, they all kind of start questioning Mama V, like, well, why would she say that? And she's like, I don't know, you tell me. Like this, but she also not a liar, so what don't I know?
Right. Absolutely.
And so they're just trying to figure out how they can maneuver around this information. But
Mhm.
people are just like, oh, okay, so this is making Corey and America a target, so we don't have to target them this week. So Taryn, if you don't listen to Rob has podcast, live feeds, Taryn did say this, and some people have said it on Twitter. When you make these kinds of call outs, they do usually have the opposite effect because
Yeah.
people are thinking, oh, well, such and such is going to target um, someone else. And I said, and initially I said, but not in this house. I think if in this house, that would have been used to put Corey in America on the block.
Mhm.
Is Bowie won HOH. And
Yeah.
Bowie was working with Corey in America. And
Yes.
Bowie name was the person that was also called out with them. But
Right.
if we had saw Felicia
Yes.
mid
Absolutely.
HOH, Corey
Mhm.
and America, or Corey and Bowie, or like
Someone.
some one of these three people's, two of these three people's asses would have been on that block.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree.
Yeah, if it was even Cerie, she would have used it to put them on the block. Because again, this is information they can use to target them.
Yeah.
So just by sheer luck for them,
But we won.
to HOH. So it
Yeah.
wasn't time. But I understand, you know, the thought processes, but in this house, I don't think it would have worked other than in this situation.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And Bowie, it was funny to me how many people came up pushing their own agendas. And the agendas that we saw, what was it? People wanted Corey up.
So
People
it was
wanted Blue up, right? And
so it was Matt and Jag wanted Cameron out.
back
Uh,
there.
oh shoot, the feeds are back. And Blue wanted Corey in America. Cerie wanted Corey in America. Felicia wanted Corey in America because she wanted her to prove that again. She wanted her to prove that she was working with
Wasn't
her.
working with them.
Cameron wanted Corey in America. All of them wanted Cameron. All
Yeah.
Cameron. So it wasn't even like a thing. Like if it was Cameron, they would have all been fine as well. And
Hmm.
um, who else? I'm trying to think. Corey in America wanted Blue.
Blue.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. One
Uh,
by one, they marched into there with their agendas. And that's when I started to be like, oh, no, Bowie isn't just gonna let these people run over her.
Yep.
You know, she's not. She's like, I'm not backdooring. I'm not this. I'm not that. My targets are
Yep.
Cerie and Felicia, which I was happy to see some pushback from my girl Cerie. Nobody really wanted her to go up, and she had people in that room vouching for her. She's
Yep.
it is insane to me how she's just able to wiggle her way out of these tight situations just by the strength of her social game. Period. Like she did nothing else. She was able to work her way back in to the point to where people are like, excuse me, I don't think you should put up three. I was like, get it, girl. Get it, get it, get it. I was happy about that.
Absolutely. And contrary to popular, well, contrary to some people's opinion,
Okay.
social strategy is a it's a thing.
Yes, it is. An important thing.
We have seen it in every competition show known to man.
Hmm.
Social strategy is a thing, not personality.
I hope people know what we're talking about, but I completely agree. And I have so much more respect for a game like Suri or Taylor, where Suri was in control of that game for 40 days. 40 days she was in control of that game. Ain't
With
one nothing.
damn comp.
Thing. Right. She was still able to drive the game in a direction that she felt was beneficial for her and the crew she was working with. Didn't
Right.
win nothing. And then on the opposite side, we have Cameron, who keeps on winning, but even with power, cannot drive the game in a direction that he wants.
He
That
wanted.
week, if Corey hadn't,
Got his target out yet. He's been targeting
no,
Felicia for how many HOHs now?
right. He didn't get Jag out. He didn't get Felicia out. He got Izzy, but it wasn't of his own doing. Other
No,
people
because he
made
wanted
the
Felicia.
exactly. Other people made the choice for him as
Right.
because it was not going to be Izzy. It was
Right.
not going to be Izzy. So I am more impressed with a person like Sari who is able to talk and get in with people and maneuver the game in the way that she wants to, as opposed to somebody who can win and can't do nothing else. Not anything else. Can't get people to be loyal to them. Can't get anybody to do what they would like for them to do and vote nothing. Nothing. So social strategy for me is what I love the most.
Right.
Period.
And I said this on Twitter, and I'm going to say it again. Watching, yes, I know I'm a newer fan. I just started watching the show. Blah 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 blah. Kick my ass for it. Whatever. But last year, I told this to Janelle. I watched the live feeds about 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in. When
Mhm.
was her HOH? 3 weeks in.
Yes.
Weeks in. Um. So when I watched it, Taylor wasn't on the bottom.
Right.
She was on the rise.
Right. The
Right?
leftovers. Yep.
But I did go back and watch the live feeds from the beginning, and then I watched it again just to see what I missed, and
Mhm.
also get some more. You didn't like the first time around. You don't watch. You can't see everything. So I
Yeah.
want to
And you
say
know what? I think it'd be even more interesting having watched them
something.
and like having more knowledge or more understanding of the people that you're watching than you do when you start watching is
Mhm.
interesting because when I see clips now of things, I'm like, that's so Joseph. Like then I'm just learning who he is as a person. As we go along the way, you're just learning these people. And I'll see
So you get
Taylor.
nuggets when
Yes.
you go back and watch it. So that's me. Like I wanted more context, so I did go back and watch the feeds again.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I didn't watch most of the episodes last season
Mhm.
until later. My son wanted to watch it, so I watched it with him. The episodes were disappointing because they did not show anything but comps. I get it. That's what the episodes are about. But they did not show and reflect anybody's social strategy. They didn't reflect Taylor's social strategy. They didn't reflect Joseph's social strategy. They didn't reflect any of Monty's, how do you say it, not having social strategy.
Yeah, the episodes are hard, and it wasn't until
Social strategy, because he had social strategy, but it was bad. I mean, showed some of it towards the end because how else were they going to explain how he got himself into the position where Monty was going to take Taylor instead of him, right?
hmm
But watching the live feeds, if you are a live feeder, sitting there waiting for comps that we can't see to determine what is happening on the live feeds, it would make for very boring live feeds.
yeah, yes, I agree.
So you're watching to see how people walk around the house, how they talk, have conversations, who they're talking to, how they're utilizing these conversations, what they're keeping to themselves. When they talk to the camera and are socially strategizing with us,
Yeah, I love that.
I feel like that is what's missing from this season. This
Yeah, we
is is definitely more boring because we do not have people talking to the camera like we
yeah.
did season. And I think from what I heard, 23 too, because Tiffany
Oh,
talked a lot.
Tana too.
Like,
Kylie did, but those three were the main three to me from my memory. Tiffany, Hannah, Kai. But yeah, it's been a lot more boring since the Izzy energy left the house for me. Like that's when it really started.
talk to the cameras a little bit.
Yeah, she did. So that's when it started to go down. But I really enjoy when players talk because you just like to get to know what they think. Okay, what do you think about that conversation you just had with Matt? What like I just love knowing that because then we know what they're thinking and what their game plan is. Because sometimes we'll be like, I hope they didn't believe that mess, or
Right.
you know what I mean, or don't go blow that up. So I
Right.
love hearing it.
Right. So like even this episode, we have I mean even this week that we're discussing, we had Bowie Jane sitting waiting for people to come up and talk to her, and one of the things she said is, "This is why I did not want to win this HOH." So we knew she had thrown it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Right, her room, and she said that out loud. And I feel like the people who are here, like even, oh well, we'll talk about it, but like even us finding out who the HOH is for this week,
Yeah.
um, week 11, it's only because that person talked to themselves out loud, and they weren't even talking to the camera. They just talked out loud because nobody was in the room, and they were like, "Oh, that person."
Oh, that's it. Yes.
And so it's like that is what I feel like is missing a lot from the season. Even like the conversations Blue is having with herself. I feel like Blue talks to the camera a lot. I
She
don't
does.
necessarily like what she says, but because it's like, oh, Blue, poor Blue.
Oh yeah, blue.
But she does talk at least to the camera, so we kind of get an idea of what her thought process is. Um so I do feel like that is missing, but but that is also what differentiates like social strategy, because it's like when you get those little bits and pieces, you can understand if what they're doing on the live feeds that we're watching is intentional or
Mm-hmm. Or if that's just accidental good social strategy. There's an example of that when we get into, for me, when we get into next week. Hopefully I remember by the time we get there, but I have a good example of a player I think is playing a great social game. So we'll get there.
yeah. So yeah, so Jag celebrates his flip the vote on Mimi because this was not a good thing for Cameron, and
Mhm.
this was not a good thing for Corey.
Right.
So he that was Jag's doing in his head. And so I mean not in his head, but he really did flip the vote on Mimi. She really didn't see it. It was him and Matt that really
Right.
flipped the vote. And so it is what it is. We will give him that point. That's probably about the last point I'm going to give this. So Sari and Felicia talk about what Bowie's gonna do, and Sari, is in the diary. I love Sari. This is the other thing that I do feel like differentiates this season from last season. The best thing about this season's episodes is
Mhm.
Cerie's diary room
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
It feels so much more of what the few episodes that I've seen of older seasons of
Mhm.
Big Brother, like Danielle and Jason's, like season 3 diary rooms, where like she's like, there is no mask. She's her full self. She's saying whatever she thinks, and there's no kitty kitty purr, and there's no, there's no
Mm.
actress.
Pause. I see who won the veto.
Oh,
Girl, y'all, can we give a spoiler alert? Yes,
oh,
Tamika.
spoiler
Blue.
alert! Spoiler alert! Let's see.
Blue got the veto, it's seeming, is what I'm seeing.
Please.
What?
Oh shit! Oh my god! God! Oh my god!
Do you see it?
Yes, I just
Tamika?
saw. I just saw Reality Barbecue say it.
Wow. And they swore up and down
She wasn't
that
gonna
they
win.
were going to get the veto. You remember? Those
Yep.
let me, okay, sorry. We're getting next week.
And it was physical. Somebody said, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" Okay, okay, let's go. We up. I need to get one. I need to get one. Okay, I need Sari to get the veto and to Melissa down if she can.
Insane. All right, let's get back to this week.
Okay, so all right, so yeah, so those are the things that I feel like um are good about the episodes this season, because even last season some of the diary room like talks were like a little hokier or whatever. You could tell it was production prodding. Really, like the only people like I liked listening to the diary room stuff was Michael and Taylor's, because like a lot of the times it aligned with what we were seeing on live feeds, right?
Yes, yes, yep,
Right.
yep, yep.
Whereas a lot of other people, they would say and do stuff, and you're like, that's not what happened. Like, that's not what you said on the live feed. You said something totally opposite. So yeah, so that is the issue like I have with some of these things, and we see it a lot in these episodes as well. But with Sari, it is absolutely more thoughtful. So we see her saying she's not sure what's going to happen with her and Bowie, because their relationship has never recovered so far with the red vote.
Yep.
They flipped the vote on red, and kept Jag. They should have voted Jag out. And so um she doesn't know how to approach this week. She's like, if Felicia had won, she still wouldn't have felt comfortable. Yeah, we know
Fair, very fair.
before this, Felicia was throwing Sari under the bus.
Left and right.
She hit the block. Blah blah blah. Fair.
Yep.
Um, and Bowie states like people underestimate her. They don't think that she is gaming. And I'm like, yes, I am people. People is me. Um, and so she does say she has a final two with Cam. She's a third on either the Matt and Jack pair or the Corey and America pair. So yes, she has, because mostly because of that red vote, has brought herself into these endgame final plans,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But we know that she never wanted to work with Cam. Um, like she cried after she like that vote, because she was like, I don't want to work with Cam. Why? Like she thought the bye bye bitches were it for her.
Right,
Um,
right.
so yeah, Suri has very very good instinct on. She really should feel unsettled that her and Bodie Jane have not gotten back to where they were in the beginning.
Yeah.
And But she says she isn't going to play anybody's game. She is going to play her
Her
game.
own game. Yep.
And so we do see a few conversations. Suri and Blue talk about Jared and losing him. And it's really bonded them that both Suri and Blue say the person they trust the most at this moment
Is
is
each
each other.
other. Yeah.
And
Yep.
I love that. I love that. So while, yes, I think that Blue has some, she you know, she has some game, how do you say it? Flaws.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Mostly her mouth.
mostly sometimes her instincts as well.
Yeah. We'll get to. Yes.
I do love that because even says the reason why she trusts Cherie is because Cherie knows how to keep her mouth shut.
Yes.
And she's been burned. I mean, she has. She was telling America everything. America was going around telling everybody else, and it burned her.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
same thing with Cerise. She's like, the only like she trusted Matt, but then Matt never told her that they were flipping the vote on Jared, and so that gives her the side eye on Matt. So the only other person that she knows how to trust is Blue, and
Hmm.
so it does that conversation and those pieces of information will take us into this week currently that we're in because Cerise has been trying to get Blue up to snuff.
She's been trying.
Been trying.
She's been trying. She tries really hard this week.
Yes.
And Blue, I mean, she just encourages. We'll get to it. Just let's talk
Yeah.
about the episode.
Yeah. So basically Corey and America basically come to this idea that Cam is pitting Blue against Corey and Corey against Blue. And they get this from Matt, right? And
Hmm.
on top of the Mimi speech, they realized that Cam not only was targeting Corey last week, but Jag and Matt talked him out of it. But he also is using Blue as a go against to
Yes.
try to get Corey out. And I still. I feel like if Corey had had a conversation, I'm going to state this. If the man had a conversation with Blue, like, listen, Blue, because who? Oh, remember when Brittany went on the block and everybody had to vote out Michael, and
Hmm.
everybody afterwards was like, we know, like, you went on the block and you had to, but at least you didn't have to vote him out. Instead of trying to be like that with her
Hmm.
about Jared, like
Hmm.
at the end of the day, we just didn't. We wanted him gone. We did not feel like that. We felt like you would use the veto, and we also did not want you to have to vote against him or not.
Yeah.
So we put you on the block. But
Yeah.
sorry, I know you feel like it, when we were working together, this was a betrayal, but we all discussed it, and that's why we couldn't, he didn't get any other votes but Cerise, right?
Right. Yeah. That would have
And
been good jury management right there, Corey. Yeah. He didn't say anything, but
he didn't say anything. He has never apologized. He's never come back to Blue and said, I am sorry.
yeah.
I am sorry. And this is where social strategy would clear up these things that they don't harbor and take you into jury phase where
Hmm.
you have somebody who has so much animosity that I don't know if Blue will vote for Corey if he gets to the final two seats. She
Guess
feels
we have to
very
see.
betrayed by him.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely, if it's him in America, because if you plan to get there with America, you already know you're down a vote.
Hmm. And we only got a 7 person jury, but I mean, he could have done all that, and Blue still could have held a grudge. But it's the fact that he didn't even try, that I'm knocking for. Like, you have to put forth some effort to try to dead that kind of thing, that kind of animosity, because she's upset. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know why he didn't take that initiative.
Right. And so, I mean, there's so many flaws in Corey's thought process. He's very smart, but I just feel like socially he doesn't think of other pieces because he's too busy trying to outmaneuver people, and he doesn't come back around.
Mhm. Well, so she was talking about Corey and him manipulating people, and not really apologizing to Blue, and she's back.
uh, he doesn't come back around and make these social adjustments.
Hmm.
Um, and I feel like he's never done that. Like, it, my whole thing was he was playing better before he got into this showmance with America. But even back then, when he would do these things, flip votes, whatever, burn bridges, he never came back around and try to re-strengthen bonds.
The only
Um,
person I feel like he did that with was Three.
yeah,
Because that whole week, that she was working on repairing things with the house, basically, him and America walked away saying, Corey's like, I think I feel good about Cerie. And America's like, no. And she's like, you know what? I do too. Like, she's got that sweet voice. So that's the only person that I think that he had made any sort of effort. And she, Cerie, she plays nice. She, like, oh, it's a game, while she plots
right,
and
right,
schemes behind his back.
right. So, yeah, so that's my biggest, like, going into this jury phase, my biggest thing against against him. Like, I just feel like he doesn't do it enough. Like, we're at the point where win equity is a big thing right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's burned a lot of bridges. America has burned a lot of bridges. Um, and we're gonna see in the upcoming week. I feel like between this week and next week, when we preview spoilers, Jag has burned a lot
Ooh,
of bridges.
yeah.
And so we do see more conversations. Um, that people are just like, what, like, who should be the target? I think 90% of the house agrees it should be Cam.
Yep. And
Um,
Bowie ain't with it.
and they try to get everybody on board.
Hmm.
Jag is focused on what is better for the Minutemen, which is him and Matt. He doesn't care about anything else. I do feel like we got some really cool conversations. Again, we get these things because you guys did a live
Longer,
HOH.
yes, longer episode gives us a lot more content to view and take in.
So, keep that in mind.
Yeah, and
Um,
Taryn really sung about this episode because we got to see everybody's perspective. We
yeah,
saw why Corey and America were targeting the people they were targeting, why Jag and Matt were targeting the people they were
yeah.
targeting. We got to see a perspective from everybody. So
And
what they were
who they
pushing.
trusted the most, who, how,
Yeah.
why they trusted them the most. So, like, we saw here that, like, what was the conversation? D- Jag showed a tutorial on how he ties his turban,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave proper naming, and how, like, everybody thinks it's so cool because he always matches his outfits. And
You
um
cannot knock that man's style.
no, heck,
That man has impeccable style.
impeccable style. And Blue wants to target Tori. Corey. She does discuss this with Felicia and Cerie. So if she's getting Felicia and Cerie on board, Felicia's like, yeah, because again, like, what is this alliance with Bowie? So yeah, if she gonna prove that she ain't in an alliance, she should target him.
Hmm.
Everybody's saying, well, Mimi ain't no liar. I just love that. And Mimi came out. She's like, I'm gonna tell like a little bit of untruth, but
Absolutely. Mimi came out of the house. And she's known for being honest all the time. People don't find Mimi to be a liar. So when she got evicted, she did admit that that was a little tiny lie.
This is the part that I hate when I'm on my phone, because when I touch things, it like comes up. I'm gonna get a computer, guys. Don't worry. Um, I looked at one today. I'm narrowing it down. Um, and so everybody's having these conversations and coming up with who they think is the best strategy. Um, and so for Jag and Matt, they feel like they need to keep another duo in so that nobody targets them as a duo. And
Right.
I feel like this has been the flaw in this house the entire game. Everybody knows who exactly you're aligned with.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Hmm.
Everybody, like, because normally, like, how long did it take people to figure out that Taylor's closest people were Brittany and Michael?
Yeah, it doesn't take long. Because you see people gathering, you see who people talk to, you see who they hang out with, and you usually hang out with the people that you're working with. You know what I mean?
Right. But it took people weeks because they were able to really kind of not not put themselves out in front. Whereas I feel like this season, too many people put out in front who they are exactly aligned with,
these
who their
people
number one is.
these people talk too much.
Yeah.
Nobody can hold anything in this house. Like it's astonishing to me how much this house talks. Corey was
Huh.
talking about that today. Like in a house like this, you can't keep anything secret. Like everything gets found out. Is basically what he's saying, and it's right.
Yeah.
Everything gets out with these people.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, they need to keep a duo in so people won't target them as a duo, which I get.
Yeah.
I
Well,
absolutely get. But at what point do you target the other duo? At
yeah.
4?
Right.
Does
No,
that make
like
sense?
they need to do it now. Like I was while the push for Bowie to target
Hmm.
Cameron
Hmm.
was not bad for her game. It wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't to me. It wasn't. It didn't hurt her game. It earned her a lot of
Credit.
brownie
Yeah.
points with the other house guests because they were happy with the move, but or they were happy with the move. But I don't think it was necessarily harmful to her game either because she still had the crews that she had
Right.
intact who were even more happy with her now, you know?
Right. So, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
like, I think that's been one of the flaws in this season that we've seen. These people don't keep much to themselves. Everybody
No.
knows who is working with, who's aligned with, or can figure out who's with who. And so it's a flaw. It's a flaw that we're seeing is starting to impact this end game.
Right.
And so the that is Matt and Jack's thing. Protect themselves, their duo. How do they protect themselves in their head? It's to keep another duo in so nobody attacks them.
Right.
Um and also it's kind of like for Matt and Jag, I
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it also shows a bit of rigidness because why don't you have another person that you would take to the ends with,
Yeah, you
right?
need to have you need to have a plan and a plan A, a plan B, a plan C,
Right,
and maybe even a dang D, because you just never know.
right,
Somebody that you want to rock with towards the end could get taken out. At
right.
any point right now.
So you need somebody else you would go to the end with, and I feel like that's also something that we're not seeing, that we saw a lot last season. Like, people made sure that, okay, you know Taylor, I can't get to the end with Brittany, I have Monty, I can't
Right.
get to the end with Taylor, I have Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Turner, he wanted to try to get Alyssa to the end, but she couldn't win comps. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like he was just rolling with Monty, but Monty was winning the comps. So you think, yes, I'm going to get to the end. Me and him are going to win the comps.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, see how that became a detriment to him, because at the end of the day, Monty decided not to take him and took Taylor.
Right.
So by not having that option, you're cubby holding yourself into the possibility that your end game is not going to look like the end game you want it to look like.
Exactly. Exactly.
Um, so those are the conversations that's being had. Then we get a conversation with Felicia that I thought was very important, very good conversation with her and most of the house of why she went into the Air Force.
Yeah.
So we
Tell me
find out
about it.
she went into the Air Force in 1982. I was two.
I wasn't born.
And she was trying to get away from an abusive relationship. And we also find out this is how her tooth got broken.
Yeah, and her
Um,
tooth has been an interesting little thing that we hear about here and there. Oh, let me go get my tooth. It's a cute, it's a
yeah,
funny little thing, but yeah, it was unfortunate hearing how that happened.
right. So she was in a relationship with a guy who was volatile, to the point that, like, one day he just punched her in the face and broke her tooth. And she told her family, it was like she fell down the stairs, that old adage or something like
Hmm.
that. And she realized that, having to lie and tell her family, and that, because back then, in those days, like, if you look, either being in a relationship with a male partner, or being um how do you say it, like, in a marriage, as a woman you have no equity.
Yeah, they
um
didn't talk about domestic violence back then like they do now. It
yeah,
wasn't They didn't have, like she said when she was speaking, they didn't
outlets.
have
Yeah.
um, domestic violence shelters for people.
No,
All these
you couldn't
resources.
go to the police. They
Right.
would side with the male gender usually. And even then, like, you couldn't, like, try to, like, financially get yourself out of the situations, because you had to have your husband sign off on bank records and accounts. And so it was very hard to get away. We even seen it, like, in What's Love Got to Do with It, the movie. Like, she literally had to leave with the shirt on her back and run away
I'm
from her
glad she
husband.
got her name.
Yeah, and that was, again, like, in the early 80s. I think same thing, if you watch the Aretha Franklin story, also same thing with her husband,
Oh, I
who
never
was,
saw that
like,
one.
yeah, very similar, like,
Was that
lots
a
of
theater
abuse.
movie? Was
Yeah.
that a TV movie? Okay.
Yeah, there's two versions. So there's one with Jennifer Hudson. That was a movie in the theaters. I watched that one. I think I watched both of them on an airplane, funny enough. But I I watched that one, and then there's one with Cynthia Erivo, who is, I think that was like a TV version.
Okay.
Um,
I didn't see either. I don't know anything about her story. I'd like to watch that.
oh, watch it, so good.
I
Like,
love What's Love Got to Do with It.
yeah,
It's hard to watch, but that's one of my favorite like movies.
she you find, I didn't even know the amount of things that I found out about
Yeah, I know
Aretha.
nothing about Aretha Franklin, so I would learn a lot watching a film about her.
Yeah. So I mean, this is very good information, because hopefully women don't have to run to the Air Force, or run to a career, or run away, um in order to, she did it to learn to defend herself, but even just to save themselves. So
Hmm.
obviously, if you are in an abusive situation, please get help. There's so many ways to get help, and I know it's not all perfect, but there's options.
Yeah.
And that, I will say, is probably the best thing about this day and age.
Yeah, I
um
love that they shared that story about her.
yeah, absolutely. And so, we you know we do get, this is where everybody starts trying to pitch their ideas to Bowie.
Hmm.
And she says she wants to get rid of Suri and Felicia, because she feels like they are
The only two people she's
threats.
not work. Yeah, and they're not. But she feels like I'm working with this crew. I'm working with that crew. Suri and Felicia have burned me, so I would love to. I mean, I understand why she would want to nominate them. She wanted Suri out. She's like, I want Suri out. Everybody listens to her. Everybody trusts her. And even in her campaigning for that, people were like, do you really want Suri out? So I understand. Like, while I don't love it, it was a good game move for Bowie. So you can't knock her.
Yeah.
I'm glad it
So,
ain't work, but
well, a lot of people were, but
yeah,
I mean, I thought it was sound again, and I didn't want Suri on the block, but it was sound. It was
yeah,
sound decision making. But what Matt and Jack do is that I appreciate is they talked her out of targeting Suri and Felicia,
yeah.
and so they want Cameron gone. But she does say Felicia is a threat. They are discounting her just like they discount Bowie. Um,
I
Sarita,
appreciated that from her. She was like, "Don't discount Felicia." You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Well, there's criticism for Bowie. A lot of it's just because I think a lot of us didn't know what Bowie's thinking or didn't understand her game. She obviously has one. You don't have to
right,
love it, but she obviously has one, and she seems to stick up for people. Like you can't discount Miss. You know what I mean? She sticks
right,
up for people, and she's like, you can't discount anybody. Bowie takes everybody serious, and I'm glad that she stuck up for her in that way, even if it wasn't intended to be that. She stuck up with her. Like, you cannot discount Felicia. I think she's impressed me in some of the comps that she's performed in, considering
yeah,
she's like 30 years older than most people,
yeah,
or maybe 25. But
yeah. So, she's right to think of Felicia as a threat. So, I appreciate it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, Felicia's not a threat. She absolutely should think of Felicia. She's come in like she, very, very close to like end game comps, like, I mean, end of each comp, so
yeah,
that she, could possibly win it or
yeah, give
she,
our girl another quiz. Give
yeah.
our girl another quiz. Let her have another shot. She's gonna go low next time on this tiebreaker.
Yeah.
On Felicia.
Sari does have a conversation with Bowie and tries to put her tries to get her not to put her up. And she does say, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do because you and I haven't been really working together. I know we talked about wanting to move forward, but we haven't really solidified anything. So I don't know if I can promise you that. But they do kind of, she's like, I don't want you to be the target. Right. And so this wasn't in the episode, but this was on the live feed. She does say that, she would not be her target. They did, Jag and Matt really did kind of get her turned around because I think she wanted to target Saria at first.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
so
was
she said she
failed,
wants to
but
work with her.
yeah,
Um, and so after that, we see that everybody comes to try to turn Bowie's head to their mind of thinking. And Bowie says, not this week. Do it on your own week. And puts up Sari and Felicia.
yes, she did. And it was so funny. I can't remember if it was the end because are we still on the first episode?
Yeah, we're still on HOH. We're gonna blow by the Veto episode because I didn't take that much notes because first of all, Zingbot's an idiot, and then
But Felicia was so funny. She was like, I got put on the block by damn Blowy Jane, effing Bowie Jane. She was
Mhm.
so funny. Like I lost it when she is just such she's naturally funny. So she was just like so mad that Bowie slapped her booty up on the block.
Yeah. Um. So, we do see the next episode is the Veto episode,
And we get
um,
OTEV.
and Julie had said, Zingbot would appear in a way that he hadn't appeared before. And according to BB historians, Zingbot had never been OTEV, so we knew that this was going to be OTEV.
Yes.
So Cameron, we see in the beginning of the episode, is talking to Bowie, and he's like, I don't understand. Why isn't Corey on the block? And she's like, I don't know, but people are worried about you in blue. And he's like, for what? We need to take out Corey. Why is anybody worried about me in blue? She's like, I can't take out Corey. America's going to come for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, she's not going to come for you. And just this little bit of conversation that they had, he's like,
Maybe.
maybe
Yes.
was so wrong after all.
Right. Right.
And he proceeds for the rest of the week to blow his game up.
Unfortunately, I think that Cam just, and understandably so, as many times
Hmm.
as this man has been on the block, he started getting some vibes. You could just feel it. He knew, like he started to get to the point that he had such strong vibes that
Hmm.
he was like, you know what? Maybe we don't need to use the veto. Just forget Corey. We'll take him out another time. Maybe we just leave it the same. Like he started to feel that the tide was turning towards him.
Yep.
And excuse me, credit to Matt and Jag because they were trying every angle to get in at Bowie. What about this Bowie? Or what about that Bowie? Or what about this? And I think Corey might have been the one to give him advice. Bowie needed to feel like she had a reason to turn on Cam. I don't know what that is in this game where people feel like they need like concrete reasons to nominate somebody. If I feel like you're gonna beat me, I'm nominating you. Period. If I feel like you are going to get to the end and beat me and get joy votes over me, bye. You don't need a reason. But that's what people do in Big Brother. So they figured out that if they gave Bowie some ammunition about Cam, which he handed to him in all of his paranoia, that
Hmm.
because he started to talk to Matt and Jag about why won't Bowie put Corey up? Do you think what Mimi said is true? So Mimi's missed had some effects on the game this week. That her
Hmm.
little exit had some effects. So I give credit to them for figuring out what they needed
What
to say
needed
Bowie
to
because
do?
Bowie
Yeah.
was dead set against it.
Yeah.
1000%. She's like, I'm not backdooring anybody. That's dirty. That's dirty. But when they started sharing with her what Cam was saying about her and her game and what she was doing, she was like, oh, okay, Cam. Well, you got to go. I credit them a lot for that because Bowie was, I was like, dang, we really ain't going to get a Cameron backdoor? Like, for real? So, credit to them for that. It's one of the
Yeah.
few things Mr. Jag has done right.
Absolutely. But again, even well, we'll get to it. But Cameron really, he went and confronted Bowie. He went and confronted Bowie about her working with Corey in America, and blew his entire game up. And they don't show this in the episode because they've been covering for this man for weeks and his bad social game.
Right.
And literally, his social game is what tanked this week for him.
Yeah.
It literally tanked its week.
If he
So
would have went and sat down and be quiet somewhere, he might have been all right. He
yeah,
gave them the ammunition. So I was where are we? Okay, let's keep going. Sorry.
yeah. So we do get Vito picks, Bowie picks Matt, Suri picks Jag, and Felicia picks America. And they do gather in the living room, and Zingbot comes out of the HOH room. And we find out that Zingbot is going to be OTEV this year. And so he does appear outside as OTEV. And first he does give them their zings. I do not have the zings on me. I could look them up
That's
if we
okay.
do.
No, they weren't. The only things that I liked
Mm-hmm.
was the song to Corey. Freaking hilarious. Like they ripped him to shreds to me. But it wasn't like too bad. But
Mm-hmm.
to me, that was the only, and Cerise was good about Survivor and being on an
Mm-hmm.
island by herself and losing all her people. Like they got Cerise good. They got Corey good. America kind of good with robbing the cradle because she's a couple years older than Corey. And they said she needed I cannot talk tonight. They said
Mm-hmm.
she needed a lobotomy because she's talking to Corey. So I thought Corey's song was great. Cerise was good. And what did I say? Who's the other one I said was good? Corey in
America.
America. Yeah. Everyone else, they said Felicia's wrinkly. She's not.
She's not.
She's not. Like she's
She
63 and she looks great. Right. Corey, something about an abla Corey or something goofy.
they were stupid.
They were so bad.
They were so bad. And
Jagger,
I mean,
Jagger.
Cerise was. so yeah, it was probably the best one. The fact that he called out Mimi, I thought was hilarious. Because she wasn't even in the game anymore. But listen, if you're gonna keep talking about Mimi, listen, this entire week, Mimi said it's giving Mimi's revenge, and
It did.
it absolutely did, because she had said when she gave her interviews she would not have targeted Cam. She would have targeted Jag and Matt, and instead he made sure to take her out. He should have just let Mimi win the veto the week before.
Hmm.
And if he had did that and been like what I said last week, whoopsie, Mimi
Yep.
won veto, it has to come down, so now I have to target somebody else. My
Hmm.
bad.
Hmm.
Corey, get up on the block. He would have at least got out one of his targets for the week instead of getting out Mimi, who she might have won this HOH,
She wasn't targeting him.
and she wasn't targeting him.
Right.
And so,
They would have been shaking in their boots if Mimi had won, because
um,
nobody would know what she was gonna do.
for real. Um, so we do see with OTEP, I think the first, so it was like you had to bring two blocks right up, or what? The questions I couldn't keep up with, but it was like,
They always ask some sort of question, and for OTEV, and you have to go find the all person or the two people he's referencing in the question, and you have to search through all the nastiness and the sludge and climb up that hill. So yeah, classic OTEV. I was
yeah,
proud of Felicia. She got fourth place in this.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Sari gets the first answer wrong because she thought it was asking for the eliminated house guest for the first elimination and second, but it was the second and the third.
Yeah.
So she had Kirsten's and Riley's, and she's supposed to have Riley's and Heisem, so it's kind of
Yeah.
sad. She was out first just for a wrong answer because she got up the whole thing and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. So that was kind of sad, but yeah. So then next, America was eliminated.
Hmm.
And then Matt, I think,
Didn't
or
he?
was it Felicia and then Matt?
I thought it was Felicia and Matt.
Okay.
I
And
thought,
then
but
it
I could
came
be
down
wrong.
to, yeah, I couldn't. And then it came down to Jag and Bowie, and Jag wins, and he's using the veto because he wants that backdoor on Cameron,
Right.
and he wants to dismantle their fugitive alliance that they just created
For safety only.
for safety only. Um, and so Bowie and Cameron talk, and she's like conflicted because she's like, I might have to backdoor him. He's giving me all the ammunition to backdoor him, and everybody wants it.
Hmm.
And so that is the end of that episode.
And
Literally.
so, yeah, and then so then we start the eviction episode, right? With
Yeah, the eviction episode.
leaving off with the veto ceremony.
No,
Oh,
it's more conversations because Cameron starts spiraling, realizes he's the
he
back
really
door.
is.
Jag is like, you know, he wants the veto to be used, so he is going to use the veto. Then we have the veto ceremony, and he does veto Felicia off the block, and Cameron is backdoor. At this point, he kind of resigns himself, but he still throws a fit. And he throws it at
Listen,
Bowie, and Bowie's like, I'm not dealing with this," and walks away and goes to her room.
listen. When she said, because usually we hear all these speeches when Bowie was it was time for her to make her read nom. She's like, Cam, have a seat.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. Done. And he's like,
Done.
Bowie, 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 you show your true, classic
Yeah.
Cam.
But
I like,
he said A2 bote, and I was like, what?
what is that? Yeah, I didn't know what that was about.
Oh, so it's like if you've ever watched Julius Caesar, it's E2 Brutus. Like that was like his best friend, and he betrayed him, and that was
Oh, okay.
yeah. So that's what he was saying about. But again, they didn't show all the nasty stuff that he said to her on feeds. Why it got to this point, I still see a lot of casuals who are like, how could she do this? He was her
She
final
really,
two. Blah, 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 blah.
right.
He
She's like
said.
that.
She
he was the only one she's working with. No, but we got
no,
many options, honey. This
yeah,
while this move doesn't hurt her,
right.
she has other alliances, and it does, like I said earlier, earn her some brownie points because everybody's happy. Everybody's happy, you know.
Like I hate that they're covering up um his his BS because
Hmm.
I feel like it's sad, like very sad that people didn't get to see the true way that he talks to people, about people, and why he has a lot of us say he has a shit social game.
Yeah.
And then you would understand why everybody was celebrating to backdoor this man.
Right.
And so he does get backdoored. Um, and we do see more conversations. He realizes Matt and Jag betrayed him. He starts trying to pitch against them. He tries to turn Blue against them. She's not having it.
Oh, listen.
To be fair, Sari had these conversations with her as well, and she was not having it.
Yeah,
So
Sari told her, listen to Cameron. Cameron at this point had realized that his alliance had turned against him. He knew Jag was lying. He thinks Matt just found out the night before. Matt gets off scot free all of the time. It's pretty impressive. The
it
blame
is.
for this is falling on Jag, at least from Cameron. But he's realized that his allies have snaked him, so he goes on a campaign to try to help out the other crew. He tells Blue, you need to work with Sari. You need to drop the problem, whatever problem you have with Corey, you need to let it go for right now. Team up with them and go after Matt and Jack because you are the target. They are targeting you. And Blue was like, haha, yeah, right. Your game sucks. I'm not going to believe you. Even though Sari told her she needs to listen, even though she needs to think about the fact that Cameron has no reason to lie at this point. I mean, I guess he could lie to try to ruin somebody, but he was the way he was spitting that and the information that Sari added in and Sari telling her to listen, she should have taken that a lot more seriously and tried to make sure those two knew that she was loyal to them, just in case. But she was just like, he don't know what he's talking about. But he did.
He
But
did.
he did. Even was it this episode? Was it even in the episode, or is this the time? It is because this week also America goes to her and she says,
Hmm.
"Hey, I need you to know that they are targeting you."
Hmm.
So she's been fair warned by multiple sources about this.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we can talk quickly later about
The
the fact
impact.
that this still ain't hitting, still is
Yeah.
not hitting,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Um, he then tries to flip Corey. And Corey's like, okay, I know I'm the vote flipper, but I can't flip the vote this week.
And
He's
when
like, if I
Cameron
flip
said, "Well,
the
who
vote
would
this
you?"
week,
Cameron said, "Well, who would you have targeted?" And he said, "You." At this point it became comical because America was like something about a jacuzzi being in the jury, all kinds of stuff. They were just counting Cam out. It was a done deal. Nothing Cam was going to be able to say was going to turn these people around. They had him on the block for the second time and were able to successfully like gather the votes against him. So nothing was turning this tide for him. He could have said, "I'll give you all $1 million," and you know what I mean. Nothing was
yeah.
turning the tide.
He says that he won't say I told you so, but he probably will. He probably will.
Yeah,
If Blue walked in the jury
he
house,
would.
he
Absolutely.
would he would have absolutely done
Yeah.
it. So Matt's talks about his difficulties in the house,
Oh, yeah.
with the whispering and how normally outside, it's very offensive, and like it's the nature of this house, like you can't get
Right.
away from it.
Right. People are
Since
going to
everything,
whisper, and it's
yeah,
nothing against Matt per se. And I don't even think, like, I did not take away from Matt in this whole scenario that he was mad at any particular person. I just
no,
think he was frustrated with the
he was
situation.
frustrated with
Yes,
this
just
situation,
frustrated with
absolutely.
this. exactly. So I saw people, kind of acting like he didn't have the right to complain. But I'm like, he was just these are people. They get
Yeah,
frustrated like
yeah,
everybody else, and he's struggling.
yeah,
Compassion here goes a long way, guys. I don't think he was asking for sympathy or blaming any one person. He was just frustrated.
yeah. I think people forget that like as a human, you have feelings and emotions, and while yes, it might not make sense to you every single time when somebody else has those emotions, it doesn't make them any less valid. It does not make them
Right.
any less right, and like it's not fair to sit there and be like, oh, he knew what he signed up for. Well, yeah, you could know what you signed up for, and then when you experience it, you realize you didn't know what you signed up for.
Yes, that is, and let me say, you're gonna get me on a tangent. That is one of
Mhm,
my biggest pet peeves as a fan. Somebody in spoiler alert for people that want to watch the current season of Survivor, season 45. There was a person that quit on the very first episode.
mhm.
People lost their ever loving minds,
Oh yeah, I
and
saw
they're
that.
like, "Oh, she knew what she was signing up for, but not really. You can,
Right.
you know that there's gonna be an element of the weather and the
Mhm,
environment. There's going to be issues with food, issues with
mhm.
clothes. You can't shout, but you can't predict how you personally will react to that. How
Right.
you personally will handle the stress of all those things. You can't say how you're going to handle not eating for 3 days if you've never not eaten for 3 days. You don't
Right.
know the experience until you do the experience. One last
Right.
reference. I wanted to work for Child Protective Services. It sounded like a beautiful job, a great job, was going to help all these children. I was warned by so many people, Janelle, it's this, that, this, that. I'm like,
Mhm.
I can do it. I lasted
It's
2 years.
hard.
It's
Yeah.
extremely hard.
It's
And while
hard.
people told me this, I read about it.
Yeah.
All of the things until you
Mhm.
do it, you don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
How
You
you
don't know.
personally will handle it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I wanted to help children with like foster children, like
Mhm.
bring them and people told me how hard it is. And at,
We can
at,
talk
at the
about
end
that
of
later.
yeah, and at the end of the day, like I got divorced and it was like on top of my divorce, it was just the impact of my children.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring that type of situation. It'd be different if I, didn't have that impact on my life, and maybe we could do something. Even as a single mother, I wouldn't have. But my kids were going through other things that were tied
Right.
to my divorce that it didn't make it feasible. So I
No,
absolutely
Natalie,
understand.
he shouldn't have.
Hey Natalie, how are you? Natalie says Blue and Jag just won vetoes. Do you think Jag should have won the second veto?
No.
No. And we're gonna
Horrible.
talk about that.
Yes.
And so let's try to get to that. So at the basically at the end of the day, Matt could have absolutely known what he was signing up for and didn't realize the experience that he was signing up for.
Mhm.
Um, and so his feelings are valid, and
That's it.
that's it.
That's it. His
And so
feelings
he
are
does
valid.
cry, and we see why he's so close to Jag. Jag listens to him. Jag comforts him.
Mhm.
Um,
And make sure he's up to speed on everything, kind of like the role
yeah,
Riley played for him at the beginning of the
yeah,
game.
yeah. And we do see people have tried to do that throughout the game. I think that at one point Jared tried to do that with Matt, and then
Hmm.
him and Matt had a falling out. So I
Yeah,
think it's turned to Jag. And so we do see that a lot in this with Matt and Jag, and um, so I get it. I get it. I do.
I get
I
it too.
absolutely
I
get it.
felt for him in that moment. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I was
Yeah.
glad Jag went up to talk to him too.
Yeah. And so we do see that listen, nothing Cameron's gonna say or do is he talks to Sari. Sari tries to explain to him the things that where he went wrong and that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. And I do think he resigned himself to what he himself did wrong. It's too little too late. He is voted out unanimously. We did have a really hilarious vote this week because at this point it was like a foregone conclusion who was going out, and so everybody came in telling Julie she looked exquisite, and then we got a few jokes. I absolutely loved that during this
Yeah,
week.
it was
Um,
fun.
it was so much fun. Except for the part where so Corey comes in the diary room and to give his vote, and Julie's like, "So Corey, how do I look today?" He's like, "Good." And it was like everybody else was saying exquisite, and it
Yeah,
was just a funny joke. But then he goes back and lies and tells everybody what he said something else.
right. I don't get it.
What? Anyway, so Cameron is voted out first to jury. Um, he took it well.
He
He took
did.
it
I was
well.
honestly surprised by his answers. I don't know. I considering the fact that he requested that people not leave mean goodbye messages. Did you know that? And he has been like hypersensitive about certain things being said about him. You
Hmm.
know, like what people are saying about him, America, that really riles him up. So I think Cam is just playing for the camera, honestly. I don't know how
Hmm.
much he truly blames himself or truly takes responsibility for his eviction
Hmm.
because it's a little, there's just some stuff in the house that makes me doubt the authenticity of that. But I
Yeah,
don't
I
know for
agree.
sure. I don't want to take anything away from the guy, but that's the perception that I have based
Hmm.
on behaviors in the house about certain things. He seems
Yeah,
hyper aware of that. So,
yeah, I agree with that. Some of his answers are a little too pat. Like he's saying that he feels like Jag is playing the best game. I
mhm.
don't think he would vote for Jag in the end. I just don't. I don't think the way that Jag is playing, Cameron is going to vote for him.
I think
Um,
I think that if Jag keeps playing the way he's like currently doing this week, he's gonna have a hard time. I believe. He better
yeah,
not sit next to no Matt.
no, not next to that. Not next to that.
I think anybody that sits next to Matt honestly is gonna lose. But
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, I agree. I think him, because they didn't play his goodbye messages, right?
mm, I only saw an alumni. Sorry, Natalie's question. Sorry, Natalie says, "Can we talk about fans trashing Matt's weight?" Yeah, I didn't see that. I saw an alumni player speak up for it and say that lots of people gain weight. I didn't even notice. Like I don't notice
Yeah, no,
anything
I
different about
saw
anybody.
I saw the tweet.
Yeah, not cool. There's no need to body shame people. Extra 5 or 10 pounds. I'd be in there. You don't got nothing to do. I'd be the Big Brother house would be horrible for me because I'd be snacking and snacking.
Hmm.
You think you saw Taylor with snacks? I'd be
Hmm.
snacking too. It's unfortunate. Body shaming. There's never any excuse for that. So what if the man gained 5 pounds or whatever he gained? You know, I don't like it. It's not cool.
You know what I would be snacking on.
I still got to get some of those corners. Yeah,
I
not cool.
Taylor is to Lay's as I am to popcorners. So, so yeah, no. I did see a couple of tweets about it, and Matt has been very open about him having body image issues and having difficulties with that and being not
Really?
kind to himself. Yes.
Wow. I missed
Um,
that conversation from Matt, and I'm even more sad now. You know,
yeah.
especially I would hate for a person that already struggled with something like that to
Yeah.
come out and see that. So I hope that's not in his viewpoint when he gets out. I hope
Yeah.
it's just a
So
one.
I think that's why a lot of people and alumni were having those conversations because they don't want him to come out and see bullshit like that and it impacting him in a negative way.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't remember them showing any of Cam's goodbye messages.
My guess is that he got seething ones and they did not want the audience to see that because
Yeah.
considering the edit they gave him, nobody
Yeah.
would understand. They'd be like, why are they roasting him?
Yeah.
Nobody would understand because the edit that they've been giving Kim is not necessarily accurate to his social
gameplay.
relationships with people.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
at
So
all.
yeah, so yeah, I agree with you. I don't feel like some of the things that he's necessarily saying I think is true.
Yeah.
And we'll see once the jury starts shoring
Trickling
up
in. Yeah.
who's going to be jury, because again, if the next person into jury is like a Felicia, she's going to have these conversations with Cam like, Jag did this, Jag didn't do that. I don't see them, if those are the first two to jury, Jag, he's screwed.
Yeah, Hannah was tweeting about like how the first juror really sets the tone in jury. He's pro
Hmm.
Jag seemingly, so but I think that potentially as more information trickles in, Jag might be in a little bit of trouble with some people, because
Yeah,
there's certain things you just don't even have to do. Plays you don't have
correct.
to make. Yeah.
Facts. Um, so yeah, I like, he might have waved off it was Blue who was coming in, because he's gonna be like, I told you so. I tried to tell you, they're playing a good game. They targeted you, didn't even see it coming. But the
Hmm.
fact that he knows that they targeted Blue,
Hmm.
and instead of then changing their target to the next duo and taking out a Felicia or a Sari or somebody who's not winning comps, just to stay in good with Aquaria America, if that's what the plan ends up being, they're screwed.
This
They
is I just
meaning Gag.
I just don't understand it. So
Yeah. So at the end of the day, we do get like the HOH goes down for hours. We knew going into this, it was comic week, and it was going to be secret HOH and potentially a two veto week.
yeah.
We didn't know what that meant.
Well,
Now,
we saw at the end of the episode, they all went up to the HOH, and there was that big
Crystal,
thing.
yes.
Yes, I don't know what
And
it
that,
was.
to me, it looked like in Superman, where you have the kryptonite.
Yeah,
That's
yes,
what it
good
looked like to me.
example. Yes,
Yeah.
good example. So we
Uh,
saw the episode ended that way.
yeah.
With-
So we don't we'll see tomorrow at the HOH. Well, I probably won't watch it tomorrow because it's coming on at 10, and I can't stay up that long. And to not to concentrate on an episode, it's too much, right?
yeah.
And then that's what it's going to be for the rest of the season. It's ridiculous. And so we will see tomorrow how that factors into this secret HOH that they ended up doing. Now, the thing is, everybody kept talking about, oh, invisible HOH, secret HOH. But they were talking about Canada. And I was so confused because I swore I saw one on season 23 and nobody was talking about it.
Yeah, that one kind of like usurped Tiffany's. Like Tiffany was HOH, Claire
Right.
got it. Hey Dana.
Hey, Dana.
Tiffany was HOH, Claire got it. It was had the ability to change Tiffany's noms should she choose to do so. Of course, her and Tiffany had a great relationship. She left Tiffany's noms the same. Cookout killed that season because that could have been a disaster for the game. She could have slapped Xavier and Kylan up there. You know what I mean? But she didn't because of the strength of the relationship she had with Tiffany. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they did it in BB Can, and one of my favorites went out because of this. Like she was the secret HOH, and then the very next week she went out. But yeah, I was excited when I heard that this was. I'm gonna try to wrap this up, but when I heard that this was a secret HOH, I was like, yes, because everybody, Corey and America, have been dancing around the Jag Matt targets. Matt and Jag have been dancing around the Corey America targets. They've been talking about it. And there's like,
Right.
maybe we just need to take a shot. It's been conversation, and you can tell there's some what's the word? They don't want to do it. They're nervous to do it. They're
They're
nervous to take
cowards. They're cowards. They're being
power.
cowards. I'm
So I was
sorry.
like, yes, the secret HOH. That means that all these scaredy cats can go ahead and make their move in secret. Let's go. I was excited. I was so excited because I was so annoyed at the notion that they weren't going to take shots. So I was super excited to hear about the secret. I don't like the two veto, but I was super excited to hear about the secret HOH because I thought it meant something big was happening, but it don't. Girl, it don't.
So, spoiler alert, we are going to
Spoiler
discuss
alert, people.
the last couple of days that has been happening since Thursday into today.
Hmm.
So we already gave a couple of spoilers at the top of the hour, but yeah. So the HOH count went down for from right after the episode. And I know some people that stayed up forever. I went to bed.
Wasn't me, but yeah, I did too. But they stayed up.
Hi Dana. Quickly, so you guys like Sari? Just seeing you all covering BB 25.
Love
Yeah,
Sari.
love
Love,
Sari.
love,
We both
love
love
her.
Sari.
I am
Yeah,
an OG Sari fan, meaning I watched Sari in her evolution in Survivor. That's what most people know Sari from. I watched her in all four of her seasons, was super happy for her when she finally got her win in Traders, and super, super impressed with the game that she is playing now in this
yeah.
game, like in Big Brother. She has been slaying the social game as Sari does. Anytime she's in trouble, she's wiggled and maneuvered, and her reads are just so good. If she has the information, if she
Mhm.
gets the information, she could lay out what's happening.
What's happening?
You know, yeah,
And she
she
has,
can lay
and
out.
she has, and she
Yeah,
has.
all
Um,
season.
so I think I've only watched Sari on maybe one or two of her seasons,
Yeah.
maybe Micronesia.
She
Um,
had Panama, Micronesia, Heroes versus Villains, Game Changers.
so maybe Heroes versus Villains in Micronesia.
Yeah.
I know I definitely didn't watch Game Changers.
Yeah.
And I don't think the
Her
first one.
first season. And she's in one little quick story about
Mhm.
her. She just evolved so much. She talked about her very first season. She was scared of leaves, y'all. She was scared of leaves in her first season, and she just became a player and got all the way to the top, the final three of that game.
Yeah,
She's a Survivor legend for those that don't know.
yeah. So that I've seen her a couple of times, and then I watched the entire U.S. season of Traders. This woman is amazing.
Yeah.
So watching Traders and just seeing the things she did on Traders edited, when I found out it was possible that she might be coming on Big Brother, I was like, oh my god, to get to see. So we just came off a season of watching, to me, one of the most epic social strategy person that I've ever seen watch like play a game.
Hmm.
Um, and to have then back to back having a Sari come on top of that to
Right.
play this game, I was like, this is gonna change the game like forever. And so it has, I feel like, in some ways I just don't see, the producers don't seem to know how to translate social game to episodes.
I'm sure it's not easy, you
Yeah,
know,
so it's
but you
not
got to put
easy,
in the work.
right?
Then
um
go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, go ahead.
No, so if you watch the live feeds, you get like exactly Cerie's mindset, exactly where she's flawed, exactly what she's used to doing, exactly where she had to make adjustments. Um, to see her come from the top, drop to the bottom, and still be able to maneuver herself out of that, to that she was on the block last week, because she did convince Matt and Jag that, listen, give Suri a bye week, and Jag vetoed Felicia
Hmm.
off of the block on Suri's orders and kept her ass on the block against Cam, because she's like, if there's going to be somebody I'm going to be against on the block, I wouldn't have done this in the beginning. It's going to be Cameron. I'm more than likely am going to stay.
Right.
And
Yep.
so she's still strategically maneuvering this
Yeah.
game.
I mean, she had people, Jag and Matt, offering her final threes.
Yeah,
She with
yeah,
final four with Bowie. Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So they did make a final four coming into this week: Jag, Matt, and Bowie, and Sari.
yeah.
And so she's still in it to win it. Now, you said really, so I guess you're surprised that we like Sari.
I don't think she was just saying that.
And you said the way she's thrown Felicia under the bus. I've not seen Suri throw Felicia under the bus.
At least not recently. To
Not
me,
recently.
ever since like when Izzy was still in, they were trying to put some feelers out to get her in some trouble because she was spilling too much. But more so, I feel like Felicia has been poking Sari in the back. And Sari confronted her about it. I
No,
hope she
Dana
didn't
says
catch
she
that.
is surprised that we're fans of Suri.
Oh
Um,
wow.
um,
Okay.
so let's get to this throwing Felicia under the bus. So to understand, I'm not sure if you're a life eater, but the reason why she kind of cut Felicia loose is because Felicia, as Janelle said, was spilling too much, but she betrayed her first. She went and outed her final two with Sari to Jared
Mm-hmm.
first and
Yeah.
threw Sari under the bus to Jared and Mimi first. And then
Yeah.
when Sari realized she could not trust Felicia, which you could tell she was so hurt when she found this out from Jared that it was Felicia throwing her under the bus. She was like, "Oh, then I can't roll with her going forward. I can't I can't roll with her going forward." So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Felicia did this first, and Felicia has been the one to continuously do that.
Yeah, that's
Now,
my perception too.
yeah, um,
My perception is that my perception is that yes, when Felicia started to start talking, was spilling information, was maybe just a little bit comfortable. Sari and some other people that were working with them were frustrated with her gameplay because it
yeah,
impacted their gameplay negatively. And they did discuss maybe we need to get rid of Felicia. And they were putting a little bit of things out there about Felicia, but it was because of how Felicia was playing the game. I
right,
saw the trash talking of Sari way more, or I saw Felicia trash talking Sari way more than I saw the other way around. Personally, that's how I feel about it.
yeah,
Felicia was when Sari worked that week to get safe. She went all around the house trying to figure out why the heck the target was off of Sari because she was mad about it. She wanted
yeah,
Sari gone. All she did was talk to Mimi about Sari. So I don't have that perception of Sari.
not at all.
Yeah, I
No,
know that I
I
know that they've
mostly
had their issues, and
right,
I
and they
have
made
enjoyed.
up.
Yes, I have enjoyed seeing them talk their issues out and
Yeah,
continue to work together. For now, I think they're good, at
yeah,
least according to my perception.
yeah. So that is our perception of where Suri and Felicia are in this game. I haven't seen what you're seeing. I've seen the opposite. So back to where we are this week. So I went to bed, thank God, but um when I woke up at 5:30 when the feeds came back, like right when the feed. So can you imagine? I woke up on Friday morning at 5:30 when the feeds came back, and we're all trying to figure out, oh my God, who's the HOH? Because they're not saying it, and I was like, this is why I need people to camera talk. And so, like, Matt and Blue are talking to each other, and everybody else is talking, and everybody's like lying and tell like not like telling out. And I was like, okay, so like who is it? And I was like, oh, I think it might be Matt or Blue because they were really focused on their conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jag was talking to America and Corey, and even somebody said it, he was the only person who seemed focused on the Veto situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was sitting there talking to America and Corey. They went to go get Matt, and he said, who the fuck do I put up? And it was like,
It's
oh my,
Jag.
it's Jag. So
Uh,
word. Secret HOH this week is Jag.
yeah. I wasn't
and,
trying to get
and he was
excited
probably
about it.
he was probably the least person I wanted to be HOH.
Yes,
And he's proving my point. Proving my
I
point.
was really, really, really hoping that it would be somebody that would put Matt and Jack up. I want one of the two of those people gone. And my frustration before we get into how Jag is playing this so horribly, but my
Hmm.
frustration is why is
I,
BB Comics and HOH Comp? It's always been a veto. Always been a veto. Okay, that's one thing. The
mhm.
second thing is if you're going to have an HOH comp, why are you having a timed HOH comp? It needs to be something that everybody has a chance to win. I don't care how much Felicia and Three, and maybe even some of the women know this information. For Felicia and Suri, men 20 and 30 years younger than them are always going to be faster physically. They're going to run laps around them. They had no shot at this competition. None. America said she got everything right.
In
First
the
try.
first try.
First try. She's still 2 minutes slower. They're just naturally going to be faster. So I'm really annoyed by this. And then they had the nerve to give all the times up. Why? Why did you give all of the times up? Because then people can sit there and figure it out. And
Figure
that's
it.
exactly what they did. Because America went in there with Sari and they were talking about it. Did we say this already? I feel like we talked about this. But they were talking about it. And America was like saying, "Who do you think got it? Do you think it's this person?" And Sari's like, "Come on, the winner was 8 minutes. It has to be Jag. 8 minutes. It took me 8 minutes to put on my pajama pants this morning, and he didn't won the dang comp in 8 minutes. Like they had zero shot, and then giving out the times made it really. They know it ain't Felicia. They know it ain't Sari. They can knock people off and figure out who. It's just Big Brother always messes something up.
Yeah, they totally messed up this HOH. I feel like in so many ways. So first of all, giving out the times, making it BB Comics a physical comp. Again, I guess the crystal's gonna turn them all into superheroes to do BB Comics. I don't know, but like, um, just it doesn't make any sense. Like it doesn't make sense to do. And I understand, but this is not even scramble week. Like I can understand if it was like a scramble verse, because then it's like, oh, scramble verse, and instead of it being a veto competition, it's the HOH competition.
Yeah.
Fine. Right? But no, they made it super hard, super physical, for no reason other than to make the physical people in the house win.
Yeah, that's
Right?
exactly what happened. So going into this, I was really hoping that somebody would win that would put those two up, but it was Jag. And I was like, okay, that's not too bad. Maybe now Jag can take the shot at America and Corey with zero blood on his hands. Absolutely perfect. And somehow that's not the plan.
That was never going to be the plan.
I don't understand why that's
That was
not the plan.
never going to be the plan. He's been protecting Corey in America for weeks.
He
He
has
and,
a perfect chance to take the shot that he's scared to take. Like you can take it in private. Go take your shot. So I'm very frustrated with Jag this week. I do not understand his train of thought here. It's idiotic to me because those two are definitely planning on taking their shot. I do not understand why he has not shut up. Why have you told every single person? Almost anyway. He told Matt, he told Corey, he told America, he told Bowie, right? I think the only people he's left out is Sari, but she knows.
so
Felicia,
we figured it out right off the bat. And
immediately.
she convinced Felicia, because Felicia
Right.
thought it was Jag or Corey, and she
Hmm.
convinced Felicia, oh yeah, no, it's Jag.
Right.
And then the only person that does not know for
It's
sure is
Blue.
Blue.
Right. And even with all the context clues Blue has about this, even with America telling her they were targeting her, even with Corey telling her they were targeting her, even with Sari telling her that she really needs to listen to Cameron about this, not Corey, Cameron, I'm sorry. Somehow, in Blue's mind, this is America and Corey that have done this to her. I'm just like, girl. I'm proud that she hasn't given up some of her sources here, which she
Mhm.
probably should. I hope she does right now, so America's behind ends up on that block. But Jag is unbelievable to me. I just cannot fathom how he thinks this is not going to get back to Blue. I can't fathom why he thought this was a good idea. And I can't fathom
So
why that.
let's talk about this, that Natalie says they should have told Jag he can't tell
I
people in
agree,
HOA.
Natalie.
And I agree, because I mean, I first of all think it screwed up his game. It like he insisted on it's like I think I even tweeted this. It's like, oh, I have to tell Corey in America because they're gonna find out. Like I have to tell them. They're gonna find out. Oh, I'm not gonna tell Sari. She'll never know. She'll never find out. She'll never be. She was
Oh.
the first person to figure it out without you telling.
Mm-hmm.
And you're supposed to be
A
like I can
Final
understand.
Four.
Yeah, I can understand you not telling Felicia, but you're in
Mm-hmm.
a Final Four with Sari.
Mm-hmm. She like if yeah. I don't know what he's doing. And even some of the conversations he's had, how are you trying to slap her up on the block? And Matt luckily talked him out of it.
He
Why?
was trying to slap
Why?
freaking Bowie Jane on the block
Why?
too.
She's gonna lose. He tried to convince her to be a pawn. I just think that this week he's lost so much traction with the
Yeah,
people that he's been working with due to his own actions. There's no reason he had to tell anybody. At
yeah.
the very least, tell Matt at the very least. But like, there's no reason. He's playing this week absolutely horrible in my opinion.
Yeah, it was horrible. The fact that he told everybody the only person who does not know for sure is Blue, and
And that's because she
she's the
refuses to
target.
believe it.
And
Right.
the script, she refused to believe it, and she was the target. And so now you're not only you burning like the people in the alliances that you're trying to protect for people who are in your head is not in your real alliance, because you said your real alliance is the Sharif Bowie, Matt alliance. You're protecting people outside of that alliance in
Mhm.
order, like, I don't see nobody giving him smoke for it. People gave more smoke to Taylor for trying to protect the women in the house last season
Yeah,
to
when
her
she put
HOA.
Jasmine up.
When
Yeah.
she would have put Jasmine up, then they are giving on to Jag for protecting two people that he says he's not really working with.
Yeah. And then I think Bowie's
He
gonna
burned
be
Bowie. He
he's
burned
running away.
Bowie.
Did you see her crying? She went to
She
Matt
was
crying,
crying.
frustrated. Like I took the shot last week. Now it's his turn, and he's not. And Matt played this. Matt is playing a killer social game. He played it perfectly. He's like, I know Bowie. I feel the same exact way as you. Comforting her, hugging her, saying he's gonna try to work on it. I like how Matt. He's always swooping in up behind Jag when people are upset or frustrated. Here comes Matt to comfort them, to hug them,
Mhm,
to
mhm,
I agree with them, make them
mhm,
feel heard, right? Matt
mhm.
is if they
That's
better
how
not
he
let that
played. Well, we'll get to it, but
yeah, Matt,
um,
they better not let Matt get to the end.
yeah. So yeah. So Jag, to like I said about the week before, between what he did with Cameron, how he's playing this HOH because Blue is going to find out, and she thinks that you guys are in a final three together. You are specifically targeting her, and it's not like a Mimi situation where Mimi left and she's not in jury. This woman is sitting in jury realizing that she was betrayed by the person she thought was like her final two.
For
Like
no good reason. I don't
for
he's
no good reason. For
yeah,
America and Corey, which makes no sense to her.
yeah. So
So yeah, no, I don't feel like he played this well. I actually think he played it wrong. I would have kept my mouth shut. I would not have told anybody at all. As Dana said, he told over 50% in
yeah,
the house,
over
which means you
50%.
might as well have told the house.
Right. Somebody just needs to tell Blue. Well, they have tried. She's just not listening.
Yeah.
So
Now,
yeah,
on the flip side, I blame production because why are you telling this man he gets to play HOH again next week and he did not have to keep this secret?
I don't know. I need to. I don't even believe that. I need to see that that is in fact the truth. Because Tiffany, like, because Claire had to throw it.
Claire had to throw. She played
Yeah,
in the HOH, but
yeah.
she had
She
to
had to
throw
throw
it.
it, right? And I believe that's how it happened in BB Can as well. Pretty sure. Not
So I
positive,
don't
but I'm pretty
understand
sure.
why all of a sudden Jag gets his like. I feel like his third special treatment now to
Yeah,
just do whatever he wants to in this house, and it like
yeah. I agree with you 1000%. Jag is annoying this week, and he goes back and forth with the people that he's working with about who to put up, who should I put up, who should I put up, who should I put up.
It's cowardly. I'm sorry, but like we are down to how many people you have to take a shot. You have to
Yeah.
take a shot. And you've done told everybody that you're HOH. And so now it's like if somebody gets vetoed off the block
Which
that
they
you're
have.
targeting, which they have, you're screwed because you're going to burn down a bridge. You're
Mm.
burning somebody and they're
Yeah.
going to know it. So you wasted this HOH. And
And
I
he
think
could have
Karen
burned them
mentioned
in secret. That's the funniest part. He could have
that.
burned them in secret.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
no.
and Taryn pointed out that he wanted to throw this HOH, but he found out it was a secret HOH. So if you were gonna gun for this HOH because it was secret? Why not keep it
Keep it
secret? Why?
secret. He's just I don't know. I don't know. And
I don't feel like he's playing a good game, and we are in the jury phase, and I don't feel like he's playing properly for jury management at all. I
yeah.
don't. We have Felicia and Sari talking about they don't think that they can vote for this man because A, he's being cowardly. B, he like it's clear that he's not playing the game properly. That you would want to vote for him because he is burning every bridge that he
Yeah,
makes.
they're wondering why he decides to make the nominations he makes this week. And also, the only thing that I think that I don't believe the whole I'm going to tell Corey in America because they're going to find out anyway. People could speculate all day long, but Jack is a terrible liar. So maybe terrible. Don't
Mhm.
when Felicia confronted them in the hammock, she went. He was like a puddle. He was like,
So
I,
so
I'm
the-
not
so
HOH.
so we can say he does nominate Blue and Felicia. Because after he tried to burn a bridge with
Sari.
no Bowie.
Answer, but he was going to put up Sari too.
Let's go
First
put
he
us
was
too.
Sari. Yeah, first he was gonna do Sari, and Matt got him off that, and then they settled on both Blue and Felicia. Idiotic.
Mhm.
Felicia's pissed because what is this? You're me and Blue. This is the target y'all have. Y'all are just scared to play the game. I don't blame her. I feel the exact same way when she confronted Jag and Corey later in the hammock, asking who's the target. Jag is like, I'm not the HOH. She's like, I didn't ask you who the HOH was. Jag does not handle that confrontation well. He does not lie well. Cerie's impression of him when he lies was spot on. Here's Jag, walking and lying. He don't look up. He don't look people in the face. He's a horrible liar. So maybe it was better that the man was just honest, but you should have took a bigger shot. I'm going to. I need this to be a double, and I need for somebody to win and slap those two on the block. I don't want
Yeah,
Matt to go. I want Jag to go. I don't
yeah,
want him in the end game. I don't like how he plays. I don't like his sanctimonious stuff.
yeah.
He already been
It's
evicted
so
once. He
funny
did it
all the
again.
stuff he said about Felicia and Sari from the beginning of the game.
It's
He
him.
not like he has been doing since
The
day one.
same things.
Since day one, he left them out of the first alliance he created, not
Mm-hmm.
Riley. He created. He had to have
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't. Because just like he is now, waving them off like they're not important, waving
Mm-hmm.
them off like they can't do nothing. The only reason why he ended up having to actually work with them is because of Jared. And even then, he wasn't even trying to play with Jared, which is why Jared was targeting him in the first place. And somebody said it online. The one thing Jared ate was his um thought process on Jag.
Yeah.
And I will give him that. That's the only thing that I said, read of the entire game that I will give Jared. Otherwise, he's a jackass.
Yeah.
But like that was the one read that he gave from the beginning. Jag has discounted these women. He has not really wanted to work with him. The only reason why he ended up working with Blue in the beginning is because he realized A, Riley was going out, B, Riley was not as great, better, as good of a player as he needed. So he then turned to Blue, but he's burned that Blue bridge, and she's his target, and she would take him to the end if she could. I don't
Yeah.
understand this because you're stuck on, I just got to get to the end with me and Matt. Why? When you could get to the end with you, Matt, and Blue, and you would win over Blue.
Yeah. He ain't beating Matt, but he'll beat Blue. I hope at
And
least.
so, no, I don't feel like he's playing a good game. I don't feel like he's playing this HOH well. I don't care who thinks that that's what he's doing. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. So even if he ends up making the correct nominations, which I highly doubt he will after this, because surprise, surprise, we just had our double veto,
Yeah.
and the target Blue
Has one.
vetoed herself off.
Yep, and he has the other one. So I cannot wait to see how the rest of this week plays out. I can't wait to
And
get off here and hop on feeds to see what's being said, to see what the plans are, because you know they're talking. So we got anybody, if you know in the chat, or if they're saying anything, let us know because we're about to hop off here. But I am excited to see how I hope if he has half of a brain, he needs
he
to
needs to let Blue veto herself off, and then veto Felicia off the block, and
put
then
Corey in America.
slap Corey in America on the fucking block.
And that might save him. Like, I feel like if he did choose to do that, he
Yeah,
may be able to salvage something with Blue.
right.
Like
With Blue,
Blue,
then he
I
would
would
have
just
Blue. He would salvage Suri and Felicia, and then everybody's targeting America if she's left over, or Corey if he's left over next week, and the only person coming for Jag and Matt, or Jag, because at this point everybody knows it's Jag that is the HOH. Is Corey or America, whoever is left over. That is the smartest move. Leaving Felicia and like putting up like a Bowie or a Sari or like or America or Court, like one,
yeah,
or veto Felicia off, let Blue veto herself off, and slap
put
them
up.
both on the block.
Yes, that's what Bowie wants. Matt seems to be okay with it. That's what it would make Sari happy. Felicia's off the block. I'm sure she would appreciate it. He could say, "Hey, Blue, yes, I lied to you. Yes, I nominated you, but we had this whole plan to save you, and we didn't tell you." He could. I feel like he could talk his way out of it. Talk his way out of being in trouble because the girl wants to believe in those two, no matter all the context clues that she has. She
Oh,
wants to believe and work with those two. So I feel like he could salvage it if he does the right thing now.
so Brandon is agreeing, I think, here with us that Jag is a bad player. Yes, that is why he got
What did he
voted
say?
out.
No, check his
No,
other comment.
I know,
Check
I'm
his
getting
other
there.
comment.
And so that, like, we know that's why he got voted out unanimously. Natalie is saying, please don't put up Bowie. We saying the same thing. But Brandon says apparently Jag
What, Brandon?
wants to put up Matt
You
after
have
Blue
got to
takes
be kidding
himself
me.
off, and then take Matt off and put up Sari so Blue doesn't know he's the HOH. And people think he's playing a good game.
You're not serious, Brandon.
Brandon, I need you to tell me you're a troll and you're lying to me right now. Please. Just go ahead. It's okay. We will accept it. We're not even gonna have grievances. Tell me you're lying to me. Tell me when I hop off of this live, I am not going to read that on the timeline. I'm not going to turn on the screen on my computer and flash back in the next hour back and say, this is what is happening on the feeds.
Yo.
Brandon says, I heard it on a Facebook spoiler, so I don't know if it's
Oh,
true. Okay. And Brandon says,
okay.
I wish I was like, okay, so we're going to hope
Well,
Brandon
let's
is.
hope that that is not the case. Because if he does that, Matt's spidey senses should shoot up. You gotta go.
Go to the end. Listen, I would go to the end with Corey in America if I was Matt at that point. I
Bam.
would.
Bye, Jag.
Everybody target. Listen, don't put me on the block with this man. Put somebody else up
Oh,
on the block with him and get his ass out.
oh my God, Tamika, that just he cannot be that goofy. All trying to hide who is all trying to hide who is HOH. Come on, when you didn't have to tell nobody to begin with.
Not say anything. I don't understand you trying to hide now when you've told half the house.
And,
All they want to do is tell Blue.
and she still probably ain't gonna believe it even after all this. So we got to go. We got to get on these feeds. I need to get on the feeds.
We've been here for too long, guys. And listen, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
We're,
thank you everybody in the chat.
we
This
will
was extra
discuss.
fun with y'all.
Yes, thank you. We love when people come and chat with us. So please, we will be back next week to chat all these episodes and the live feeds that play out for the rest of the week.
Mm.
But we know the target is not no longer the target, and so that I'm happy about. I'm glad that Blue is safe, but I hope it's not at the expense of Suri. And so that's me right now, but we will be back next week. Michelle, just, I just, I just,
It's okay.
I can't believe that. Uh, Janelle, please
Yes.
tell the people where they can find you.
Just I'm Janelle Michelle on everything: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. If you type in my name, you will find me. I'm the same on everything. I'm covering this with you. We finished up X Press for the pre-jury. The post-jury is just a joke.
Yeah.
And then Tamika and I are covering Traders. So if anybody's
Yes.
watching that, we'll be talking about that on Tuesday. This upcoming
Yes.
Tuesday, we'll be talking about episode 3 of Traders. So that's where you can find me.
Thank you, Brandon. Thanks for subscribing. Yes,
Thank
guys. So
you,
yes,
Brandon.
follow and subscribe to us everywhere. I am entertainment in color. I will be tweeting whatever I see after this. So come follow me on Twitter to tweet me and Janelle about this disaster of
Oh
an
my
HOH.
God.
And yes, we will be back on Tuesdays to chit chat about Traders Canada. If you are not watching that and you need to know how to watch that, hit us up on the socials. We will tell you how. And also, I will be back tomorrow with
Cool.
Chantel Francis and Miss T Joy to discuss our Black Bachelor Nation block, which is the Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. We will be here on my channel at 12 to discuss Golden Bachelor, and we will be over on Reality Realness with 3 S's on Chantel's channel to discuss Bachelor in Paradise, guys. So this is what we are covering this week. So you can catch me and Janelle back for BB at sometime at the end of the next week.
Yep.
But come on Tuesday, even if you're not watching Traders Canada, come
It's
chit chat with
good.
us to hear what is going on. We talk about our girl koozie. Yes. And so we are excited to bring this stuff to you guys. So come follow us everywhere, join in on the conversation. We gladly have them with you. And that is it, guys. Let's head over to Twitter. See you
Yeah.
guys later.
See
Have
y'all
a good
there because we're
time.
going to be there. Bye, guys.
Bye.